Welcome, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar, where our expert from Google is going to share AdWords strategies for holiday car sales. My name is Eliana Raggio, and I'll be your moderator today. And today's webinar is being presented by DealerOn. And for anyone who isn't familiar with DealerOn, well, we're an award-winning website development company and digital agency, best known for our search engine optimization, best-in-class customer service, and our award-winning websites. DealerOn was named the top-rated website provider by Driving Sales for 2012, and DealerOn customers were winners of the Spring and Fall 2012 Digital Dealer Website Excellence Awards, including the all-important overall winner. DealerOn is so committed to lead conversion, optimization, and customer service that we're the only company in the industry to offer a lead guarantee program. Oh yeah, I said leads guaranteed. So if your website company isn't guaranteeing you leads, well then, maybe you should check us out at dealeron.com. And we have a great show in store for you today. We're very pleased to have Scott Wedemyer as our presenter today. Scott Wedemyer is an industry strategist on Google's Dealer Jumpstart team, which helps car dealers embrace digital solutions. His team collaborates with auto groups, individual dealers, and OEMs to generate business with Google tools in an age where smartphones rule and everything is on YouTube. He's been at Google's Ann Arbor office since 2007 with a brief stint at a traditional ad agency beforehand. Scott is an artist and philosopher at heart. He enjoys creative thinking and illuminating big ideas and loves working directly with dealers on their digital marketing strategies. We're very pleased to have him with us today. Now, during the presentation, if you have any questions, please use the question feature located on the corner of your screen to submit them. At the end of the presentation, we'll answer those questions of general interest. If we're unable to get to your question live, don't worry, we're going to respond by email later today. Also, don't forget, a link to download a copy of today's webinar recording is also going to be emailed to you later today for your reference, and please feel free to share it with friends and colleagues. And guess what? Our good friends at Google are offering up some great prizes for you today, our dear attendees. All you have to do is check out the short survey at the conclusion of today's webinar. Please fill it out because we're always looking for great feedback from you, our audience. And today we're going to randomly select some winners from all the completed surveys to also win some Google prizes. So let's get started. Let's learn about preparing for holiday car sales online with Scott Wedemyer. Scott, how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing great, Eliana. Thanks so much for including me. It's great to be here. It's great to see everyone out there. I'm excited to get talking about the holidays and how to sell more cars.
I know, and I should say, before we get started, originally we had scheduled to show up and do this webinar Mariana Coppola from Google. She's actually in the same office as you, correct, Scott?
That's correct. She sits right next to me every day.
Every day. And unfortunately, Mariana could not make it today. And Scott, gracious as he is stepping in and filling some pretty big shoes today and telling us all how to get our holiday sales revving. You like that? I like that. I threw that car term in there, revving, with some
Good.
Google AdWords strategies. So I'm excited. Now, before we go any further, it goes without saying, all car dealers out there want to get the best out of their holiday car sales. At the end of the year, they want to have one last push. So we're really excited that you're here to tell us what we can do to get the most out of our holiday car sales. So what have you got for us today?
Well, thanks for the introduction, and thanks everyone again for making time. It's really an honor to speak with you today. And again, if you were looking for Mariana, consider this an upgrade for sure, without a doubt. And you'll be sure of that by the end. I'm excited today. This picture here of the kids opening the present really captures our excitement about the holiday season for car shopping, because a lot of the ways that we see the industry really coming to life around this time, not only in the stories we hear from you and the industry insights we see, but the way we see people using the web, the way we see people using Google, the way we see people using YouTube. So really our mission here today is to share with you some of the insights that get us excited about helping you take advantage of the holiday season coming up, and try to give you some really actionable insights that can help you do better marketing, win more of the moments that matter in online car shopping, and walk away at the end of the month with more metal moved. So here's the agenda that I'm excited to share with you today. We're going to first look at how Happy Holiday really starts today. I'm going to walk you through some insights, some industry analysis, some things that we're seeing about how people use the web and use Google to suggest that there's a big opportunity out there for us as car dealerships and marketers and advertisers trying to get people to buy our cars to really start taking advantage now of the season. Secondly, I'm going to give you Santa's wish list. I know that's corny, but it's a series of quick tips and solutions on how you can actually capture in-market customers across all of the different devices and media that people are spending time on, and really simplify the process of reaching your customers who are fragmented in many places these days, reaching them simply in one spot. We'll take it home with a recap and checklist, and then you are free to ask questions of me as we wrap up. Sound good? Let's go ahead and dive in.
That sounds great, because you know what? We are in the holiday season now. We can't wait any longer for this kind of advice. So where do we begin?
I can't believe it's already November.
I know.
It's just amazing how fast it's going.
It's mind-boggling. It's only, what, 7 weeks to Christmas?
Yeah, it's amazing. I guess I can believe it with some of the sleet and snowy weather we had even here in Michigan, that far away from the coast. But in some places it certainly feels like winter already. Let's go ahead and dive in and take a look at some holiday auto shopping trends. I'm hoping that a lot of the things that we talk about here are things that you'll say, yeah, I see that happening in my dealership as well. And I'll preface myself, I've never sold a car in my life. I've worked with a lot of you out there. I've been in a lot of dealerships. I've had the honor and privilege of learning how hard it is to run a dealership and sell a car. But I've never myself sold a car. So my goal in sharing these is to show you what we're seeing and hopefully have you agree or add in your own 2 cents as to how this makes sense for you. So the thing that gets us excited is that there's a lot of action, there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of momentum happening in the home stretch of the year. And you know this. 2012's incentives are going to be concentrated in the coming months. Things are heating up. The SAR is looking good. We're selling more cars as an industry. And we're setting ourselves up for a strong finish in Q4. We see a lot of the manufacturers and OEMs that we also get a chance to talk to over here at Google. We know that they're gearing up for a big year-end sales push, as they always do. Incentives are drawing shoppers back into the market. And what we want to really talk about here is making sure that we can cut through the clutter of the holidays and really reach the large number of in-market shoppers that are out there. We had Nielsen help us pull some stats that on Google and our Google network, there are 13 million in-market car shoppers who are regular users of Google and Google properties, and almost 10 million people that are on YouTube, which is a Google-owned property. So we're excited seeing that the users out there using our products are in-market car shoppers, and we want to make it simple for you to reach those people. I'll just pause here and say a little bit more about Google before we go forward. You know us as a technology company and also as a media company. We really are a technology company at heart. And the 3 things that we're really set out to do and that my team is set out to do in working with car dealers is 3 things. One is we want to help you understand the insights that matter in car shopping. And we've got a lot of cool data about how people use Google that illuminates the insights that matter for your business. We also want to help you win the moments that matter and take a look at what moments really matter now in car shopping. 20 years ago, the moments that matter were probably more offline, whereas now a lot of the moments that really matter in car shopping, those influential, pivotal moments where people make decisions, happen online. So we want to help you win those moments. And then thirdly, understand and track the metrics that matter. So we're talking about insights that matter, winning moments that matter, and tracking the right metrics that matter, making that really easy for you as a marketer. So again, that's our mission, and I want to talk you through how we're going to help extend that to you and give you some ways that you can take that back to your dealership. So finishing out this slide that I'm on here with all the Santas holding up the sales sign, we really see that the time is now, and that's what we want to talk about, is really getting started right now in early, mid-November to start reaching people earlier in the process as they look for end-of-the-year sales deals. Here's a graph that illustrates why we have urgency. This is a Google tool called Google Trends. You can use it yourself by searching for Google Trends. And we put in some keywords like Toyotathon, Happy Honda Days, December to Remember, some of the key end-of-year incentive sales events. And this graph shows how many people have been searching for those types of keywords over time. And you can see that each year there's a pretty big spike in these sorts of queries on Google right around the end of the year. That's October, November, December. And that spike is continuing to rise as the market recovers and as we move forward and get even more tech savvy as a culture. So December is always the 1 or 2 top sales months in Google for the past 3 years, and we really see the search interests reflect that. We also know, and we'd love to hear what happens at your dealership specifically, but across the board from some of the studies that we've asked some of our third-party research partners to do and some of the stories we've heard, people are making decisions faster. 60% of shoppers are deciding what car to buy in less than a month, and they've got the technology to be able to pull the trigger and make an informed decision much faster than they have in the past. We see about 17% of people deciding what car they want to buy even in less than a week. This comes from a study that we had Compete do, which takes a look at people who actually bought cars and cross-references that data with their internet usage behavior and asks some questions about how quickly and how they used different media to make decisions. I'll reference that study a few times going forward, just so you know what data I'm talking about. As we jump forward here too, there we go. We know that also deals are a top purchase driver. We're hearing that more and more from you and from the studies that we've seen that people obviously need to buy a car to replace their previous car, but we're hearing a lot of stories of people buying because they got a good deal. Isn't that why anyone would buy a car? I'm sure you've got tons of stories from the floor as to what people are saying there. But from the data we're seeing, almost half or a quarter to a third of people who buy a car are saying for some reason they had an incentive or a good deal, and that gets us excited as well. We also see that on Google. We see that reflected on how people search. And I'll show you that later, is how people are searching for more incentive, deal-based language. But as people search on Google, we're seeing that there's a lot of cross-shopping behavior. There's a lot of people that have something in mind, and then they end up buying something different. Or they do a lot of searching along the way that shows that they're cross-shopping, they're looking for deals, they're comparing, they're contrasting. So about 20%, only 20%, of people who end up buying a certain car made that their first search on Google. So when we're talking about people searching for multiple queries over the whole process of researching a car, the very first car they search for rarely is the car someone ends up buying. What that really breaks down to is about 74% of the searches that happen on Google that are related to car shopping are not for the car someone ends up buying. 74% of the searches are cross-shopping, comparison, open-ended, I'm not sure what I want to buy searches. So when we think about Google, a lot of times we think about any sort of search process for a customer being a one-and-done process. Someone does the research, they know what car they want to buy, they enter it into Google, they find a dealer, boom, it happens. In reality, most people search multiple times on Google, do a lot of cross-shopping, even 10 or more times on Google. So we're really seeing Google and search engines as a research tool, not just a trying to find a business I want to buy tool. We also know that in this, the competition is still fierce. It's still knock down, drag out in a lot of places. Automakers we've really seen up their game. A lot of them have good inventory right now, except for a few. Paul Taylor for NADA sees that inventory shortages are over. We're really at the point where everyone's ready to sell. There's more competition to get customers' attention. So again, this lights a fire under us to really help understand which moments really matter in car shopping to help you cut through the clutter. So that really sets up the opportunity that's out there. We think it's big. We see people using the web more and more each year in December. This year is going to be even bigger. And it's not just to locate dealers. It's to make initial decisions and form initial impressions and figure out who's reputable out there. Who do I want to buy a car from? Who's trustworthy? Who has the car they want? What deals? Who has the right deals for the car I want to buy? Just a lot of this swirling questioning. So let's take a look at Santa's wish list, where we can go in and really take a look at how to capture these people, how to capture the in-market shoppers at the right spot, across the right devices. And by that we mean we're in a world where everyone has a smartphone, everyone has a tablet it seems, and there's vehicle research happening not on pamphlets anymore, right, but on iPads and Android phones. So how do we make sense of that? That's what we're going to take a look at today. Eliana, do you want to interject anything? Are we sounding good in terms of content so far?
Yeah, you sound great. Looking forward to hearing what else you have.
Great. Why don't we take an opportunity just to pause here and do poll 1, just to kind of get a chance for people to jump in and answer some questions.
I think that's a great idea. Audience, guess what? It's your time to get involved. We need your help. Please look at your screen now and check out the question we have for you. We want to know, how does December compare to other months regarding car sales? What's your December like? Is it absolutely the best? Maybe it's one of the best? Is it kind of average online with maybe, most of the months of the year? Or is it just, it's not even significant, it's not even worth mentioning? We want to know. Please select one of the following answers. And once we get a majority of the votes, we're going to close the poll and share the results. And the votes are coming in nice and fast. I love it when my audience gets involved. And it's so funny because every time I see one of those commercials where they're saying, hey, you should buy your husband a brand new car, I'm thinking, who does that? But obviously people are out there doing it. So, if anyone out there would like to buy a car for little old me, I would love a car for Christmas. So, oh, look at that. What do you know? We have a lot of the votes already in. We're going to close this poll and share the results with you. Are you ready, Scott, to hear what we have today?
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Okay, here we go. 61% of today's audience agree that December is one of their best months out of the year. 61%. That's awesome. 32% of today's audience say it's about average. 5% of today's audience said it's not significant. And a mere 3% say that December is their best month out of the year. So is that around what you were thinking? 61% said it's one of the best?
Yeah, that's really interesting. I would love to obviously learn more about everyone's individual situation, especially those 5% that said it's not a big month. But yeah, that's great to see because we see that interest on Google ramping up at this time and on the web. So it would make sense that that's where most of the responses are centered. Thanks for the poll. Would you say the same in terms of how you guys see activity at Dealer On?
Oh, we love they don't call it the most wonderful time of the year for nothing. I think people are always trying to get that last push in for the year, close out the year strong. And so for those people who are saying that it's average or not significant, it's no surprise that they're here on this webinar today. They want to know what's the secrets to getting December to being the best month out of the year. So
great. Well, then let's dive into some tactics to use some of the tools that we have to try to capture in-market shoppers. We'll jump in here, and I'll just say in advance, this is where we talk about marketing and advertising ideas. At Google, we've got a lot of tools that we think are really helpful to do that. Many of you may be, when you think about Google, when you think about advertising, you think about paid search or SEM, PPC. These are the hot words around using Google and search engines to get in front of hand raisers who are searching for a car. We'll touch on that. And if you're not familiar with that or that's not something that you touch at your dealership, that's fine. We're going to talk about it in a pretty high-level way. But I also want to kind of zoom out and talk about more than just paid search, really talking about taking some of the things that you might already do at your dealership in terms of advertising, which could be great radio messages, strong newspaper advertising, out-of-home marketing, and billboards. I don't know if anyone ever does skywriting or blimps, but probably not. Any of the stuff that you do and the passion that you put into your existing marketing efforts, finding ways to help that live and breathe online where we know people are not only concentrated, but they have the ability to have a two-way dialogue with you. They have the ability to click and shop for cars in their pajamas. So that's what we're talking about here. We're going to get into advertising upgraded, still thinking about the things that you do and care about, but finding ways to help them live online. That's what Santa wishes for us this year.
Yeah, I want you to also know that we have one of our attendees today, Greg. He wrote in, by the way, the week of Christmas to New Year's is called the 13th month. So apparently there's a whole flurry of activity right there when everyone has off between Christmas and New Year's and they're all buying cars because they know that they're going to get a good deal.
I should have titled this the 13-month, and I appreciate that, Greg. That's great comment. Next time we'll make this presentation titled that, if that's okay with you.
We'll say
that's the thing that really irks me is when I worked at Google. I didn't at first I didn't work with automotive companies. When I got into the business of working with you all, I realized, dang, this is not a time to take any sort of break between Christmas and New Year's. I got to be on and answering email and helping people out because you guys don't take a break either during that week. So hey, that's just how it goes. Let's jump in. Oh, there we go. Okay, slides were slow to advance. So this kind of sums up what I just said earlier. We're going to focus on key opportunities in marketing. We're going to take a look at search, which you might know as paid search or PPC or SEM. We're going to take a look at capturing the audience that you've already built through a lot of your other advertising efforts. We're going to look at how to do this multi-screen easily. We're going to take a look at reaching shoppers while they shop and while they're sort of on the go looking for info, and really making sure that you know how to speak to an engaged audience and say the right thing to pull people in and convert them to a sale. We're also going to take a look at marketing and advertising in another bucket, which fits into the video display advertising bucket, which we can really think of, again, as sort of in the same light as a lot of the newspaper, print, radio, TV advertising you may already do. But by orchestrating an online plus offline strategy, we can get really geo-targeted, we can maximize efficiency, cut waste, and use the same creative that you already use just to hit harder and live and breathe online as well. So let's take a look at the search piece first. Again, hopefully most of you have heard of paid search or search. What we're really talking about here is when people do a search on Google or any other search property, which happens to be YouTube as a search property. You can search on YouTube. And you get a screen like you see here. And most of you know that the Google search results page or even the YouTube search results page is split up into two different categories. At the top and on the right, you've got paid ads. At the bottom middle, you've got organic free listings, which sometimes people call SEO listings. What the real deal here is, the paid advertising listings, those come up as a combination of so your bid on a certain keyword combined with the relevance of your ad. The free listings, it's all Google. There's no bidding involved. We're making the call as to which dealership is the most relevant to the search query. So when we talk about search and owning search across all screens, we're talking about both, but the thing that we can really control is choosing keywords, setting bids, and having the right ad message to get up on those top spots of Google and on the right side of Google where there's sponsored ads, sponsored listings. And this is important across all screens, and we'll get into that a little bit more as to what it really looks like to have a cross-screen strategy. But what we really want to emphasize here, too, is that this is a moment that matters in car shopping. If someone's searching for a car, there's a high likelihood that this is arguably one of the moments that matters most in car shopping. So we really need to think about if someone's on a tablet or a smartphone or at work or at home and they search for a car, we've got to be there with the right deal and the right message to help convert that customer. That's a better prospect than we're going to get anywhere out on the street or any random person that happens to see our message on TV as they sit on the couch. So again, search being really important for capturing demand. And again, as I mentioned earlier, we see a lot of people that are searching for deal incentive related language on Google. Leasing cars, best auto rebate, year-end clearance, buy car, vehicle shopping queries, not just on deal language, but overall, we're up almost 20% in the second half of 2011. Our data for 2012 will come in soon. So we really see people getting more deal-focused at the end of the year. And again, we want to help capture that. That's low-hanging fruit. That's better than any other prospect that we could really ask for anywhere else. So holiday tip 1, you'll notice in the top right corner, I'm going to try to break this down into a few really simple tips. It'll be numbered so you can, and we'll give a checklist at the end so you don't have to write these down yet unless you want to. Step 1, if you're doing paid search, you have the opportunity to pick keywords and write ads that show up with those keywords. Take the time to make these holiday specific. Think about year-end sales keywords, incentive, deal-related keywords, holiday, Christmas, New Year's related keywords. Make those a part of your keyword list strategy. And if you're not the one managing it, get someone to help you. there's a lot of great people, including those in this room, that can help you with that. Year-end car blowout. You see an ad at the top right. This is someone that wrote an ad customized for the season. A lot of times when we see people running paid search, sometimes it's so busy running a dealership, or you don't have time to edit and make the ads updated for the season. So make sure to have ads that really reflect what's going on at your dealership and that are seasonally appropriate. Idea 2 we'll get into looks at different devices. We're really at a funny point in our culture where smartphone and tablet sales are just exploding. It's just really amazing to see. I kind of wish I'd put this slide in the deck, but we have a graph that shows how many people are searching for vehicle shopping related searches on Google on smartphones and tablets versus desktop computers, laptops. And at first, smartphones were small and slow and steady. In the last few years, they have just exploded exponentially, and we're now at the point where there are just as many people searching from mobile devices for car shopping queries on Google as there are people searching from desktop and laptop computers. So if we want to talk about what's next, it's smartphones and tablets. It's not just what's next, it's what's now. Americans now consume more media on mobile devices than TVs and PCs. That's pretty incredible. I don't know if anyone knows the answer to this. I'm tempted to make this a question you can chime in on, but anyone know how many times people check their phones per day now in the U.S.? It's 150 times a day, which is really the second most thing you do. It's only second to blinking and breathing, really, in terms of things you just habitually do every day. We're now shipping over 1 million Android phones per day. I mean, this thing is for real. And tablets as well. Tablet ownership doubled in the U.S. last holiday season. Apple hopes to sell 30 million iPads this season. Most people have a tablet probably. And the funny thing for me, and the thing that I love to talk about when I sit down in a meeting and talk to a dealership about what's your mobile strategy, what's your tablet strategy, how do you make sure that the marketing and advertising and the website you have really has a home on a smartphone and tablet and stands out, because that's where people are looking for information. The thing that I really like to emphasize here is the fact that smartphones and tablets aren't used in the same way as desktop computers. When we use a computer, we're searching for information, but the thing that you see on your phone or tablet is personal in a way that is unlike anything else. Your phone has your contact list, it's got your photos, it's got your calendar, it's got all of your phone numbers, obviously it's a phone, it's got your social media, it's got your internet. What's on your phone is you. It's not the internet, it's your internet. And people take it seriously, and there's studies that show that the things that people see on their phone, they recall them and they stick with those people more than things they see on a desktop computer. So, I mean, how many of you have been out at dinner or somewhere and you have a bet with your friends? How do you settle that? You pull out your phone and you search Wikipedia.
Google it.
Yeah, right. I should have
do that all the time.
Yeah, you Google it. That's how most bar bets are settled these days. So again, a smartphone is not just someone searching for info. It's instant validation that's very personal to people. So it's really important to take a look at making sure your dealership's got a presence on a smartphone, because if someone is searching or trying to get information on a car, this is their chance to make a first impression of you online. So what does this look like? Holiday tip 2, catching customers in line on the road and after opening presents. There's a really good opportunity to reach people on mobile devices, because a lot more people are going to get mobile devices after they open up their Christmas presents and get new phones. We don't even need to wait until Christmas or the holidays. People have phones already. And what we see here is an example of dealerships that, these are sample dealerships, but they've got ads coming up at the top of Google on mobile devices. We want to make sure that your car dealerships are able to show up in these top spots, because again, it's not only a moment that really matters in car shopping, it's a great way to convert a lead, but it's a first impression that shows that you're legit, you're a real player in the space, you're a dealership that's worth checking out. It's really important. We want to be found when people search on mobile. People are really searching for a lot of different things when they use their phones. They're searching for product info, coupons and sales, product reviews, store information, buying products, all around the holidays. And the number of smartphone and tablet users who plan to make holiday purchases via mobile devices this year is actually growing. It's up to 46%, which is pretty incredible that people are going to be making purchases from their phones. If we look at this data just a few years ago, it's not even close. So now people have buying power on their phones, right? That ups the game as well and makes it all the more important to be present on mobile devices. Not that they can buy a car from a phone, we know that, but they can still do just as much. Yeah, they can. Well, that's a challenge. Anyone out there that wants to find a.
No, one day it's going to happen. One day we're going to be able to buy cars right online. You'll see.
I have no doubt. Someone's going to find a way to make that happen next. Eliana, I know you guys got something brewing in the lab at GRI. I'm hopeful, but we'll see. My last point about mobile before we move on to the next piece. I lost my train of thought.
That's okay, because I was always thinking.
Go ahead.
Do you want to just have a mobile-only strategy, or do you want to take that same digital strategy and stretch it out across mobile and tablet and regular web? I mean, what would you use just for mobile?
That's a great question. When we talk about this, I'm really talking about having a strategy that works on everything. Most of the time, people err on the side of forgetting about being on mobile. They just focus on desktop and laptop computers, because a lot of the time when they're at work at the dealership, they do a search right from their desk computer, and they want to know if they're showing up. So I think that the action item that I would put out there, and you can chime in, Eliana, if you want, with the different ideas, make sure that whoever's running your online search campaigns have ads on mobile. Don't make sure that they're checking that box and not forgetting about it. Make sure that they're on tablets. And when you look at your website, same thing. Make sure that you've got a website that looks and works really well across all devices.
And Greg wrote in and he said, think mobile first and then PC-based. And Chris wrote in, he's checked his phone 10 times since the beginning of the webinar. Chris, put the phone down. And I just wanted...
Chris, Sorry, Chris, you wouldn't believe how many people have said that to me as I share this stat in live presentations. That's a great jab. I love it.
But it's true. Unfortunately, it's true. So if you're, I think if you have something that's on mobile, then when I mean something, I mean you have a digital ad, something that you're on a mobile Google ad source. If you're on mobile, people are going to look it up and say, okay, when I get home to my laptop or my PC or whatever, I'm going to remember to call that person or make sure I look that up again. I just think that mobile is the gateway because it's the most readily accessible to us.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, again, the conversations I have with you all as car dealers, people see their customers using mobile in sort of two ways. It's, as you said, it's that gateway. It's sort of the first impression. It's instant answers on their phone anywhere they go that leads them to make a decision later. And then the second side of it, too, which I'll add on, is it's people that are actually on the go. They may even be driving, as scary as that is, although we all kind of do it, and they're looking for a physical location out there around them. So yeah, you're right. It's so important. It's a gateway. We need to be present on these devices. And again, more and more as search traffic shifts to these devices from desktop computers, we're going to be totally missing the boat if we're just focusing on having a strategy based on laptops and desktop computers.
Yeah, and all I can, just please, if you're going to do mobile ads, please remember to do the click to call button. Very important. I can't tell you how many times it irritates me when I want to call and I can't click to call. I need the click to call.
There it is, right in the screenshot on the right. The yourdealership.com ad has a 330 number at the bottom. That's a clickable. Someone can now take action right from their phone. That's something that you can't say about any other advertising. No one can click from a TV or a newspaper ad to contact you. So take advantage of the medium. Absolutely. Thank you. Well, great. The last thing I'll say about mobile, again, is it's just so important from a website approach to have a website that looks good for all the reasons that Eliana just mentioned. It's someone's first impression of you. I know a lot of you put a lot of time and effort into making really good physical storefronts. And I know a lot of you have been forced by manufacturers, whether you like it or not, to put a lot of money into upgrading your physical storefront. The amount of money it takes to have a really good-looking mobile and tablet-based website in addition to a great-looking desktop site is not as much as it costs to totally do a new facade on your facility or replace your entire showroom floor and lighting, right? So again, most people may never get to your physical dealership. They will have a virtual first impression of you on their phone or on their computer. So again, really important to have and seek out someone that can help you with that strategy.
Oh, and just so you know, if anyone wants to check out, we actually did a mobile strategies webinar with somebody else from Google, Eli Romberg. I don't know if you know him, Scott, but
yeah, Eli's great.
He gave arguably one of the very best webinars I think I've ever done, and he showed step by step how to make a great mobile ad strategy, step by step. It's right there in the webinar. So all you have to do is go to dealeron.com/webinar and click on the link where the webinar archives are, and run down there until you see the title for the Mobile Strategies webinar from Eli Romberg. It's definitely well worth the download.
Fantastic. Yep. Anyone from Google that's saying anything, you got to check that out. Worth listening to. No, I'm just kidding.
Word.
Thanks for the plug. Let's jump on. I want to give you guys, make sure we get through this and even give you some time back at the end if possible. So we're going to fly through the end. We've got a few more solutions. We just checked off on some of the things to do in the search bucket. Again, around the holidays, there's going to be more people searching. We need to have a great search strategy that happens on all devices and all screens with the right message and the right keywords to convert customers. On video and display, we've got a lot of momentum and advantage as well. You know that there's a ton of competitive events out there. There's a ton from summer clearance to year-end sales. Your manufacturers are helping you out with just a ton of advertising and momentum. We need to help convert that and even do some of our own. So what we want to talk about is promoting engagement and experience by taking some of the traditional assets and helping them live online. So this is an online newspaper, right? Print isn't dead. Newspaper's not dead. I know that the average dealership still invests about 20% of their marketing budget in print. You know, I still have a physical newspaper at my home, and I work for Google, which is a tech company. You know, print is not dead, but it lives online a lot of the time, and most people read it on their iPad a lot of the time. So when we talk about doing print media, we have a great opportunity to supplement and go beyond what our manufacturers are doing to get the word out about the sales at our dealerships. Right here, great sports page, my favorite sport, hockey. At the bottom, you've got an online banner ad, Season Best from Cadillac. This is a great example of taking what would otherwise be sort of print collateral or TV collateral, helping it live online in a clickable format. Here's another example, Happy Honda Days, right on the Boston Globe sports page. Your manufacturers are doing it, right? They know that it's important to reach people where they're at, which is oftentimes on their iPad. So they're starting to push these end-of-year sales events, marketing efforts to online as well. And the point here is there's a great opportunity for you to do the same. It's not that hard to do. We know that a lot of effort goes into orchestrating print and TV and radio strategies. It seems scary sometimes to think about letting these things, getting these things online. Who's going to make banner ads for me? How do I control it? What's my budget? How do I do it? And great partners out there that can help you do it. But when you're thinking about your strategy for proactively announcing different sales you have at your dealership, if you've got guys designing ads for a newspaper or a radio spot, get them in a meeting and talk to whoever's doing your online marketing and say, hey, we need to not just reach people physically with offline media. We need to get this same stuff living online because there's a great opportunity to do so. And again, as mentioned at the beginning, just on Google's network of websites, like the sports site here that you see, we can reach 13 million in-market car shoppers who are using these things every day. And it's accountable, it's trackable, it's clickable, it's efficient. We can target people based on their interests and behaviors, not just throw an ad out to everyone that happens to see our print or reads the newspaper. So we can really target it and efficient here. Secondly, looking at promoting engagement on YouTube with video. Again, your manufacturers are doing this. Happy Honda Days is a campaign last year that lived on TV, but it also lived on YouTube as a series of in-stream video campaigns that show up when people are watching other YouTube videos. Here's kind of what it looks like. Happy Honda Days right there as an ad showing before someone's watching a cord video from Consumer Report. You know, again, this stuff seems scary sometimes. Who's going to manage my YouTube? How do I even get on YouTube? What is YouTube? How do I get a video online? But really, when we're thinking about our TV strategy, we're now at a point where there's a lot of people out there that don't even have TVs. They rely on the internet to watch TV through YouTube and Hulu or Netflix. So there's a great opportunity to reach more people and, again, do advertising that's more accountable and efficient and engaging than a lot of the offline media can provide, because it's clickable and we can see what happens when people click and engage on it, and you're only paying for results. So as a part of a holiday strategy, we really want to take a look at thinking about the offline traditional media that we use to get the word out about the end-of-year car sales and the metal that we want to move, and getting that online as well. As mentioned, the cool thing is that we can pay only for engaged video views. I want to shamelessly talk a little bit more about our product on YouTube that allows you to get your commercial or your video advertisement in front of people. Again, here's what it looks like on YouTube. It's a commercial before a YouTube video. Here's a lot of text that you don't need to read. Look at the pictures in the corner. You can kind of see that there's a lot of different other places to get a video ad to show up on YouTube where people can click and discover your video in a lot of ways. The key point, and again, don't read the text. It's a little bit confusing. The key point is you're only paying when people choose to click on and watch your ad. Any video ad formatting we have on YouTube, you're only paying if people click to choose to watch the ad, or if they get served up the ad as a video ad, they actually end up sitting through the whole ad instead of skipping to go to the next video they want to watch. So again, we're taking a look at TV advertising that's accountable because we're getting guaranteed views that we only pay for when people actually watch, which we can't say all the time for other media, right? It's scary when people time shift and use their DVR to skip through TV ads. Again, not to say that offline media or traditional media or TV is wrong or bad. That stuff is still absolutely important. But we need to start thinking about doing new things, too, to reach people where they're at and where they're going. So holiday tip 3, think about it. Have a video strategy. Auto shoppers love online video. You know, we had Compete and some of the other research partners we do give us some stats to kind of pat our backs about why people love video. Over half of holiday shoppers are reached on YouTube. People spend 35 hours a week watching video across screens, and a lot of that shifting to smartphones and tablets, big time. 1 in 4 car shoppers are likely to watch an online video the next time they buy a car, and 2 in 3 car shoppers are likely to watch online video the next time they buy a car. So again, people, they're seeing these videos, they're on YouTube, they're being influenced by them. It's something we need to think about. YouTube also increases reach beyond TV. We've seen that advertisers who do not just a TV strategy, but they take the same creative that they might have used for TV, the same ad, and they run that as a YouTube creative, they can get up to 25% additional reach. Or sorry, I said that wrong. 25% of the people viewing their ad on YouTube did not see it on TV. Yeah, same thing, 25% additional reach from doing a YouTube campaign. So again, it's reaching people in all the different places they are, not just in the place that we've traditionally reached them. Holiday tip 4, and again, we're in the business here of talking about proactively getting the word out as opposed to search, which is sort of reactively being there when people search for you. We have some tools at Google that can help you take different ads, whether that's a text snippet ad or a picture or image banner ad or even a video ad commercial, and broadcast it to people as they browse the web and read news or watch videos. And we can do that by being really targeted with people's interests. What we call interest category marketing, which is similar to behavioral targeting, if you've heard of that term before, is a way to get out and show banner or text or video ads specifically to people who have exhibited car shopping behaviors before. We have millions of people who are Google users who, based on their recent search history, we know, well, we don't know, but we really assume they're car shoppers or they're BMW shoppers or they're looking for auto financing or they need car insurance. All indicators that someone's an in-market car shopper. So holiday tip 4, get with the person that does your marketing. Talk about doing with Google a behavioral targeted interest category campaign to get your deals and incentive language and your sale event language out to specifically people who are in-market car shoppers, geo-targeted to just your area where you sell cars. Holiday tip number 5, don't just proactively get in front of people with the message about your end-of-year sale, but remind people who have already visited your site and not yet purchased about your post-holiday, about your holiday sales event. Remarketing is the tool that we have at Google. You've probably heard about remarketing or retargeted online advertising. If you haven't, what it is it's advertising that shows up to people after they've visited your website. So the other day I went to a retail website considering making a purchase for my own home. A few hours later I was reading a news site or checking the weather, and I got served up a banner ad from that same website I was on earlier, making a case for me to come back and reminding me why I need to be buying from them. Remarketing is a strategy that does that. It keeps your dealership top of mind throughout the holiday rush, and it's a way to continually talk to people after they've visited your website and make sure that you're keeping them in the loop.
And just so you know, Scott, and everyone else out there, we're actually going to be doing a webinar on November 15th solely about remarketing with a good friend of Dealeron's, good friend of Google's, Duncan Scarry from Haystack. So he's going to be telling us all, great guy, and he really knows his stuff, especially when it comes to remarketing. So you're definitely going to want to check in on that if you have any inkling about maybe going towards the remarketing thing. It's really untapped when it comes to dealerships, and every dealership can learn more and get more out of it. So that'll be November 15th webinar, okay?
Fantastic, thank you. And the last word I'll say on remarketing, and again, if you're interested, check out that webinar for sure, but a lot of the dealerships I work with that are doing an online remarketing strategy, they're thinking about it as getting a lot of free value. Like all the online advertising that we're talking about, this is pay-per-click stuff. You're only paying when people choose to click the ad and go to your website. When we're talking about an online banner or video ad campaign, the click-through rate is pretty low. That's just the standard. 1 out of 1,000 or 1 out of 10,000 people will click an online banner ad, which means that the other 99 or 9,999 just times the ad shows up without being clicked. That's all free for marketers. With remarketing, it's no different. What you're basically doing is following up with everyone that comes to your website with a ton of free ad impressions, and then only paying when people actually click, and only paying a few dollars when they actually click. So if you do the math, and I've done this with a lot of the dealers I talk to, you're paying, like, if you break down the cost, like 5 cents or 3 cents to follow up with each individual user who you're reaching multiple times with a remarketing ad over the course of the next month since then visiting your website. It's great value, and again, if you've got a sale going on, or you're building up to some great sales event at the end of the year, or you've got a great deal on a certain piece of inventory that you really want to move, remarket to everyone that visits your site with that message in a banner ad or a text ad. Remind them you're only going to pay for people to click, and you get on the hook. So it's a great way to follow up with people. Holiday tip number 6, and this is, oh, hey, there it is. I skipped over it. The webinar thing is acting up on me. We've got a cool chance, again, in terms of being proactive with getting our word out, to reach people on mobile devices. These 3 screenshots here are all examples of people, advertisers running display ads on mobile devices, which again are becoming really big. And after everyone unwraps those new phones for Christmas or whatever holiday of choice you celebrate, where you give gifts to each other, this is what they're going to be seeing. They're going to have a chance to see your ad showing up on websites and YouTube search and any other site they visit. So Google, I won't get into the details of it, but we've got a few different flavors of ways for you to proactively push an ad message out on mobile devices, on YouTube, on other sites in our network. And again, it's a great way to do pay-per-click where you're getting the word out and only paying when people click on it. So holiday tip number 6, if we want to cut through the clutter, we're probably, I would imagine, thinking about doing print and radio and getting the word out there. We can be really targeted and accountable on mobile phones too, and that's where people are spending their time. So tip 6, think about doing a proactive mobile display campaign that gets display and video ads out on mobile devices. Let's recap and do a checklist. I've run through a lot of different tips here. Hopefully we've touched on some key themes throughout, and I just want to highlight what those are. Number 1, capture holiday demand. The name of the game here is really running ad campaigns and do marketing across all devices. All devices, everyone uses them. Make it simple, as Eliana said. And I'm not sure who said that originally. I can't remember your name, sir, but you had the idea of mobile first, everything else second. Absolutely. Make sure that you're doing what you're doing on mobile just as heavily as you're doing it anywhere else. Be found with in-market car shoppers. These hand raisers that are using the web to search for a car, easy to find. They do searches on Google. That's a hand raiser right there. We want to run holiday ads against holiday keywords. So again, take a look at your paid search strategy. Make sure you've got holiday end-of-year focused keywords in your keyword lists that you're bidding on, and then you've got holiday-related ad copy that really highlights what you have to offer this season. It isn't just the standard ad that you run all year. Be relevant with in-market car shoppers. What we're talking about here is we really want to take a look at using video and banner ads to get in front of people. And not just get in front of everyone, but get in front of targeted in-market people that we really think are likely to be the people that want to buy a car. And we have the way to do that, and again, it's pay-per-click solutions where it's really efficient. Lastly, we're here to help. Learn with Google is a series of teachings that happen online and sometimes in person, where you can learn more about what we do at Google and what tools we have to offer to help you do things more efficiently, do marketing more efficiently. Do a search for Learn with Google. In addition to the great webinars that Dealeron does, there's some additional information that lives online with Learn with Google.
Learn with Google. I never even knew about that. That's great.
Yeah, we probably could do a better job getting the word out about that. So the name is easy. Learn with Google. Maybe you've learned with Google today. You can continue to learn with Google elsewhere. So the next steps, and these are, this is a granular checklist. You've got to figure out the strategy for yourself, but if you're going to go back and sit down at a meeting and say, hey, let's figure out our marketing strategy for the next 2 months, how are we going to sell more cars, how are we going to make sure that our marketing budget goes as far as possible, that we're really efficient, that we don't spend too much, but we still reach all the people we need to. Here's a sample checklist of things that I'd encourage you to run through with anyone who's involved with your marketing. Get your general manager involved, get whoever does your online website marketing involved. Here are the steps. 1, create holiday search campaign for desktop smartphones and tablets. It's a paid search campaign. Increase in December your digital investment. Again, we see more people searching and using the web. If you have a budget breakdown for each month, make sure that it's loaded more towards December where you're going to get more searches. Don't come up dry at the end of the month with your budget when there's still a ton of people during that 13th month. Create and launch YouTube videos and display ads. Again, look at anything you're doing on newspaper and print and find a way for that to live on YouTube with a display and video campaign, or not just YouTube but other sites too. Do remarketing. Start building a remarketing user list based on who visits your website and get a plan to launch that campaign with someone who can help. And then lastly, use behavioral targeting, interest category marketing. They're the same thing, to get in front of in-market vehicle shoppers with your banner ads about your end-of-year sales. So again, make your checklist for whatever strategy you need to go over, but here's a great start to get thinking about that. Really appreciate your time, everyone out there. I know that an hour in the day of a car dealership is very precious. Thank you for your lunch hour. Eliana, thank you for having me. This is where we're going to open it up to questions for you to, go ahead, slide. I'm going to skip through the appendix. Slides aren't moving. There they are. And boy, this really humbles me. Ask the expert, which is, I guess, me. There's my face again. Different facial hair now, but I still kind of look the same. I've lost a lot of that hair. That's from actually a few years ago.
Thanks for pointing that out for us, Scott.
Yeah. I'm surprised when I see that picture. Any questions for me?
Yes. Yes, of course we have questions from you. You're from Google. Okay, so first question comes to us from Allison. She wants to know, is there any good tool, hopefully free, that can help me select the best keywords for my brand, my geographic location, etc.? Which I think is smart because you don't want to put too many eggs into the wrong basket. People are picking the wrong keywords and they're not the keywords they should be picking. So I think that is smart to try and, but is there a place where somebody can help you?
I have a two-pronged approach to doing that. First, use a whiteboard and think about all your different profit centers and make a common sense list of all the different things people could search for that would allow them to engage with one of your profit centers. Secondly, use the free online tool that you're asking for. It's called the Google AdWords Keyword Tool. Boy, I'm a bad salesman. The program that we use to execute and run all the different paid search and banner and video campaigns that I just showed you is called Google AdWords, AdWords. You've probably heard of it. The Google AdWords Keyword Tool is a free tool where you can plug in all these keywords that you've whiteboarded, see which ones actually have a lot of search interest in your area, and then give you ideas for other keywords.
Allison, I hope that helps you out. Scott, excellent answer. And let's move on to the next question. We don't have a lot of time, so I want to try and get to
at least concise answers here.
Yes, excellent, excellent. Okay, well, Greg wrote in. He said, thank you very much. Scott, great tips to take advantage of a natural market surge and outmarket your competitors. One quick question. Does a dealer need an agency to do remarketing?
That's a great question. Definitely not. We have designed Google AdWords as a self-serve tool where you can go in and set up a paid search campaign or a remarketing campaign or a banner, YouTube, super crazy, whatever campaign you want to do. It's all there for you to pull the trigger for yourself. However, my experience would be that when dealerships who don't have people set up to do this try to do it, they end up pulling people off the floor selling cars, spending more time than they need trying to figure out computer hassles. So my advice would be to find a partner that can help do this unless you've got someone pretty savvy in-house.
Okay.
And the agency is going to be using the same tools that you would use Google AdWords. We're making this a very democratic process for anyone to do this.
Okay, and Greg already wrote in. Perfect, thanks. So, excellent. I imagine it's like anything. If you wanted to take out ads on Facebook, you know, or ads any place, some people are really good at it. Some people are better at it.
Yep.
So, and if you have the time, you can do it. Okay, so next question comes to us from Ahin. And I have to say, is this the same Ahin that I met in Vegas at Digital Dealer Convention? Please write in and let me know. But his question is, and again, Scott, I don't know if you can answer it, but I'm going to pose it anyway because that's what I do here.
Bring it on.
Okay. He says, I am in the Bay Area, and I want to know more about Google Cars Beta. When a customer searches for my dealership, the first non-paid link is to Google Cars with stock photos, but directs customers to get quotes from competitors. Who do I talk to get my dealership on there so customers who search for us directly do not get redirected to another dealership?
Yeah, that's a great question. Ihan, I hope I'm saying your name correctly there. Yeah, a lot of people have been asking about this beta test that we're doing in the Bay Area. It's kind of loosely called Google Cars, but there's no official name for it. And if you haven't seen it, then you can just do a search, and there's probably a lot of other people chatting about it and rumoring about it. It's a closed beta right now, which means that we're not accepting any new dealers into it. But I don't have official word on it, but I would imagine at some point we're going to scale that, or we would hope to, if we're going to be successful with the product and it works and it helps everyone, that it might scale out and give people a chance to sign up for it. So tell you what, if you are in the Bay Area, actually, I'll get in touch with Eliana, and we'll share contact info, and I'll just see if there's a way to get in that because it is a cool product that we're testing. So let's try to meet up. Get in touch with Eliana, please.
Score. Thanks so much, Scott. That's great.
Sure.
Okay, next question comes to us from Chris, and he says, we already spend a lot on Google AdWords and paid search. For me to be able to sell my bosses on YouTube advertising too, well, it kind of needs to be cheap. How much would a good campaign cost? And I'm assuming he's only talking about the YouTube advertising. Because obviously you sold it, Scott. So now people want to know how much is that an ad to their...
Yeah, I'll answer that with a story from a dealership I work with that had a very, very strong TV budget and was able to take just a small percentage of that, like 5% or less, and still get great results on YouTube. What they did was they sell a lot of used cars and do a lot of financing, so we help them do a video ad that is about getting financing, but also had a little companion banner next to the video that people could actually click that said, come here for financing. Click for special financing deals here. And what they ended up doing was paying about the cost per someone choosing to watch the video instead of skipping it where you don't pay is about 5 to 15 cents per view, which means that if you even have a budget of something like $25 to $100 a day in that range, which I don't know if that's a lot or a little for you, you could get hundreds or thousands of people viewing your ads, and then thousands more that have seen your ads, at least part of it, but then chosen to skip it, which you don't pay for. So yeah, it can be really, really, really cheap. Again, a fraction of your TV budget, but without knowing your specific situation, it might be tough for me to answer.
No, I totally get that. Wait, and so he wrote back, so if they don't watch the whole thing, I don't get charged?
Exactly. You put in an ad. If someone watches 25 seconds of a 30 spot, you don't pay. You only pay when they watch 30 seconds. And again, you're paying 5 to 15 cents. We call that a true view. It's YouTube true view, one-word advertising, and we're trying to only make you pay for true views of the video.
I don't know. That sounds really good. I mean, because I never watched a video all the way to the end. Is that terrible to say?
Right. I mean, it'd be like if you ran TV and you didn't pay for people that DVR'd through your commercial, or that started talking to their friend that didn't pay attention when your commercial came on. That's what we're trying to accomplish here.
Chris, that sounds like a good deal to me. You might want to look into that. Okay, well, guess what? We're already at the top of the hour, so any questions that weren't answered during the time allotted, we're going to try and get to those by email later today. Scott Wedemyer, who knew you were going to be so fabulous? Thank you so much for coming and joining us today. You did great.
You're really welcome. Thanks for having me. It's really an honor. Thanks, everyone.
I want to remind the audience that a link to download a copy of today's webinar recording is also going to be emailed to you later today for your reference, and please feel free to share it with friends and colleagues. And today's webinar is going to be posted online within 24 hours. All you have to do is go to dealeron.com/webinars to view our upcoming webinar schedule and access any of our past webinars too. Also, at the conclusion of the webinar, you're going to receive a short survey. Please fill it out, because we're always looking for quality feedback from our audience. And today, we're going to randomly select some winners from all the completed surveys to also win some Google prizes. You just fooling around over there, aren't you, Scott?
I'm just going to go. This is the last slide. Take it away.
Okay, thanks.
I didn't know if I went through it too early.
No, you're doing good. Okay, so invitations are going to be going out tomorrow for our next webinar. How to take your dealership from good to great. Do you know what successful dealerships all have in common? Well, April Rain from Digital Rain does. She conducted a nationwide survey of dealerships that have gone from good to great to learn the secrets to their accomplishments, how they improved their tactics, changed their results, and dominated their market. And she's going to tell you what she found out. No webinar out there is going to answer so many questions, break apart digital myths, and leave you walking away feeling confident that you have the ability to affect change and drive results like this one. This is going to be another can't-miss presentation by your friends at DealerOn. And don't forget, DealerOn's weekly webinars are held every Thursday, 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And we have some really incredible webinar subjects planned for this year. But if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions regarding these webinars and our topics, please feel free to contact me directly. Again, my name is Eliana Raggio. I love hearing from you. Track me down online or email me at eliana@dealeron.com. Thank you all so very much for spending this time with us today. And I hope to see you all on a future webinar in our continuing education series. Take care and have a good one. And happy Halloween.